In lieu of a PDF file, I'm going to try and do this with a YouTube file. So this is how you're going to set up our team matches for the league. Um, First, trying to see if this thing really works. When you log in, this is the screen you're going to get, or something similar to it, depending upon your device. What I want to point out early here is your People tab. If you click on that, it will show the list of friends that you have identified who are online. This is going to be important because you're going to need to know the BBO ID, which is what's being shown here, for the players in the match. In order for you to see if they are online, you're going to have to add them as a friend. So you would go down here to the bottom where it says add friend. You would enter the BBO ID. This is AJ's. And then you'd simply click add. It may or may not show up here depending upon whether they're online. I already have AJ here, so it just says ready to do it again. You can see who is offline simply by moving this little button here over, and then here are all the people that you have friends on where they are. As I said, only one's online right now. As I say, this is important because when you set up the team match, you have to enter this ID. So in order for you to know what it is and whether they're online to accept the invitation, you're going to have to have added them as a friend, and then their names will show up here if they're online waiting for you to set up the match. Over the time of the league, you'll probably get everybody in the league as your friend. But when you first get in, you can set up your own team members, and then you just simply add the teams that you're playing. And you'll see how this works as you set up the team match. So the team match, you get to there by hitting competitive, by hitting team matches. And what you'll see is a list of pending team games. People who are in the process of trying to set something up. And what you want to do is come down here and click Create Team Match. And this little window pops up. You'll notice there are 3 tabs: Identification, Option, and Reserve Seats. And it comes up with identification. In the identification box, you're going to want to put as a title some name that is unique so that AJ and I can find the matches after the fact in case we need to look up the scoring. So what we have been doing is simply put CCC League and then the 2 names of the 2 teams. They've been the captains. It doesn't matter what the names are. All right, just put into. I don't type real well, as you can see. When we talked in the at the awards ceremony, we talked about this code, and you put this in the description, and it goes with a plus sign, no kill, which tells BBO not to terminate this match, and then you end it with a plus. You then do the next one, and you do private, which basically means we're in control of the match. Other people aren't going to be able to get in. Particularly if somebody drops or whatever, you're going to be able to control, how it kind of goes. And then the other one that we talked about was a plus slow, which basically says don't put a time limit on this. And so, if it runs a little longer than what BBO thinks it should run, that's okay. The next thing to do is to put in the captains again, and you'll see how this works in a minute. And then you go in to options. Now, it's already set up as imp scoring, which is what you want. It is already set up as the number of boards is 8, which is what you want. And it's set up as a random deal, which is what you want. So you won't have to do anything here. In this scenario, you're going to want to turn off the barometer scoring. We've had it on before, but as we talked about in the meeting, it's probably better not to have a running score going. And that's what this barometer scoring is doing. So you turn that off. We're going to go ahead and allow undos. And again, this is simply for misclicks. And, it's table protocol, whatever you agree to at the table. And then as we talked about, do you want to let kibitzers in or not? If you don't want to allow kibitzers in, then obviously they won't be able to chat. But you can allow them and also keep them from chatting. Entirely up to you as to which you do. We've been doing no kibitzers, so obviously there's no chatting going on. But you can, change that if you'd like. The final thing then is reserve seats, and you'll notice now here's where the 2 captain names come back. Okay, and so what it's asking for, and this is where there was some confusion before, is this is my team and this is Hassan's team. So if I put in, myself, now Jan's gotten online, so let me show you what happens if the player you have is online. If you notice, I hit first 2 characters, her ID shows up. Again, another reason for it to be important that the players are online when you start to set up the team match. It can save you a lot of typing. So I can now just click this. So it's Jan and I. I'll put Pam in as one of our teammates, and we'll put in HA here. And then here you would put the other team. This is John and Estelle. Here's Joel. I'm trying to see if I can remember some others. I think this is Margaret. So anyway, you would enter the team, how you want them sitting. So Jan and I are going to sit north-south for my team, and AJ and Pam will sit east-west. Here, Hassan sit north-south, and Joel and Margaret will sit east-west. When I can now hit create team match. When I do, and I'm not going to here, but when I do, okay, it will align the tables correctly. You do not enter the table alignment here. You simply enter your team, your opponent's team, and it will figure it out. Once I hit create team, it's going to go issue invitations. Since there's nobody here, there's no sense doing it. And you'll see down here in the lower right-hand corner, people accepting invitations. Little yellow bars will begin to pop up. Do not close this until the match has been created, until everybody accepts. What sometimes happens is somebody doesn't accept the invitation or doesn't accept it in time. I think BBO only allows 30 seconds for you to accept the invitation. It may be a little longer, but it's not a very long time. And so if you've closed this, you're simply going to have to re-enter it. If you leave it open like this and you see a rejection, you can simply, with everything set, come in and hit create team again, and it'll reset the invitations. And usually the person who rejected the first time realizes it and will accept the second. So until you see the board come up, just leave this window up. And that's all there is to setting up the team match. When the match is over, you should get another window about this size that says the score, what the final score is when all the tables, all the boards have been played at each table. If not, as I said, AJ and I can find the matches, okay, based on this title. So since we know who's playing each week, we can come in and find the match in BBO, okay, and come up with what the score is. A lot of times in the past, one table gets finished earlier than the other. And when that happens, you don't always know what the final score is anyway, which was another reason for turning barometer off. So if you are online or it doesn't pop up with the score, at least we have a way of getting it. When the match is completed, you should be able to go to your history, and not just from your side, but the whole match. You should be able to go to history here, and you will find the match. All of last year's matches are gone. I don't have one here from the last league, but you'll find the match here, and you can click on this to get the results of the match. Any questions, send them to AJ and I. I don't know how close this was to what AJ did. I know he sets them up a little bit differently in some cases, but this is how you get them set up. Nobody should have any problem getting a match set up. The BBO should be allowing you to do it. If not, find another team member who is allowed, and they can do this as well. And hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you.